Hey, what's up, everybody? BDO44 coming at you with another video. All right, so the Lakers are back. We are playing the Minnesota Timberwolves tonight at home at 7:30 Pacific, 10:30 Eastern. The Minnesota Timberwolves are a team that has been playing the OKC Thunder 1,000 times in a row, and I'm pretty certain they're sick of the OKC Thunder and never want to see them again. Pretty damn certain of that. And so the gist of the homework that I had to do in regards to the Minnesota Timberwolves might as well have been OKC Thunder highlights. It was 3 of the 5 games that the Minnesota team has last played has been OKC. 2 of them at home, 1 of them on the road, and the last one was on the road in overtime. The final of the 4 matchups, I believe, unless they got to play them again. For their sake, I really hope not. But yeah, this one went into overtime, so as if they hadn't seen them enough. Can you imagine after playing this team 3 nights, the last 8 or whatever it is, you got an overtime game in the final one? It's just like, will they ever go away? So that is kind of what took place there. 131-128, Minnesota did get the victory against the leading Western Conference team out there, and I think this came down to the Minnesota Timberwolves actually utilizing the young players that I said they should have been utilizing all season long. Nickeil Alexander-Walker had a big game, but we're talking about Terrence Shannon and Rob Dillingham. They finally actually let these kids play, and of course they're naturally talented, like most of us who follow them throughout the course of the draft process know, and that's what happened. They went crazy. Terrence Shannon had like 7 points in the fourth quarter, 17 and 10, 2 blocks and a steal to go along with it. This is a really, really talented young player who puts a lot of power into his run. So when he's driving with a significant amount of force, and this is going to be a very good player. Very good player. So keep an eye open if coach decides to allow him to play tonight. I'm pretty sure he'll be driving at us rather fast and getting in the fast break a whole lot. Rob Dillingham, Dilly with the shifts is what they call him. Very, very talented ball handler. He had 12 points, 1 steal, 5 assists, 4 rebounds in 26 minutes of play, 4 of 10 from the field, 1 of 3 from behind the arc. Definitely capable of lighting it up, man. He's like a new age Jamal Crawford type of dude. You're going to have to take him very seriously going forward. They traded the whole draft first rounder to get this young fella away from the San Antonio Spurs, and he is a big part of their future. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, as we mentioned, also had a big game off the bench for the Minnesota Timberwolves in that overtime matchup. 21 points, 3 assists, 5 rebounds on 7 of 12 shooting, 2 of 4 from behind the arc. This is a very, very efficient night for Nickeil Alexander-Walker, a legitimate two-way player who also had a block in that game. Ant-Man did not shoot well against this team in this game. 5 of 15 from the field, 1 of 6 from behind the arc. He even missed 4 free throws, 6 of 10. Had 17 points, 1 block, 13 boards. He made up for it, and 8 assists. So you already know Ant-Man is going to get numbers regardless. He also turned the ball over 4 times in this one. Mike Conley, 3 of 5 from the field, 2 of 4 from behind the arc, and 8 points. 1 assist. Naz Reid had 22 and 11 in this game. And Jaden McDaniels had 27, 10, 4, and 2. By the way, Jaden McDaniels has officially turned into an elite level two-way player. I don't know what his upside is from here, but the jump that he made from last year to this year, in my opinion, he should be a candidate for most improved player. He should be a candidate for most improved player. Jaden McDaniels is balling completely out of control. He's scoring a lot more than he ever was known to be in a consistent way. And you got to deal with him, man. So you're talking about 3 players with double doubles in this particular matchup. And, you know, the rebounding was just really what told the story. Jaden McDaniels with 10, Naz Reid with 11, Anthony Edwards with 13, and Terrence Shannon with 10. Rudy Gobert did not play in that game. He's not playing in ours either. So they're going to team rebound like this. And if we give up that type of rebounding to this team with athletic wings, we're not going to win. So OKC, they beat OKC in overtime, as we talk about a lot. Clearly, this team is playing on a higher difficulty level than most teams right now because of who they've been playing and how consistently they've had to play them. So be ready for a high-level Minnesota team who's coming in, having played the best talent the West has to offer a lot lately. So that's what needs to be said. Of course, the game before that naturally is against the OKC Thunder. And, you know, they did not win that one, 130-123. In this particular game, OKC shot extremely well. That's what it came down to. 55% from the field, 48 at 86, and 54% from behind the arc, 19 at 35. Minnesota shot respectable for the most part, especially from behind the arc, 40%, 18 of 45. So that's really good shooting there. And 39 of 89 from the field, 43%. Not so good when you consider the percentages from the field. But all in all, they shot extremely well from the free throw line as well, 27 of 28, 96%. And they rebounded the ball well once again, 44 to 37, 2 games in a row where they out-rebounded the OKC Thunder. But they couldn't get the victory. Points in the paint was the difference there, 46 to 32, OKC's way. Fast break, 23 to 14, OKC's way. And both teams had 13 turnovers, 17 conceded for the OKC, 20 conceded for the Minnesota Timberwolves. And OKC's defense really shined here. 9 steals, 8 blocks to the Timberwolves, 6 steals, 5 blocks. So most of these, what you see in the box tells you that if OKC just would have shot reasonably cold, Minnesota probably would have won because they won in most categories. But because OKC was just on fire as a unit, they weren't able to overcome them. So yeah, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander had 37 points, 3 blocks, 3 steals, 8 assists. I forgot to go over the OKC's numbers for the other matchup, but I guess we'll live without it. Jalen Williams, 18 points, 3 steals, 1 block, 9 assists. Chet Holmgren had 19 points in this game, 3 blocks. And Aaron Wiggins had 15 points, and Alex Caruso had 11, 2 steals as well, 7 rebounds there. So they really shot well, man. That's what it came down to. They were getting it from everybody. Hartenstein had 12 on 6 of 8 shooting. Holmgren was 8 of 11 shooting. So that type of interior efficiency is very difficult to deal with. Holmgren actually shot 3 of 4 from behind the arc. J-Dub shot 3 of 5 from behind the arc. Aaron Wiggins hit 4 threes in this one. So they just bombarded Minnesota with a lot of good shooting, and they weren't able to overcome it. But Jaden McDaniels, 17 points, 13 boards, 6 of them offensive, a block to go along with it. Huge rebounding, huge scoring as usual at this point for Jaden McDaniels. Naz Reid, 22 points, 4 blocks, 11 rebounds, another double-double there as well. Ant-Man had a better game here, 29 points, 2 steals, 7 assists, and 10 boards on 8 of 21 shooting, 4 of 13 from behind the arc. Not so efficient. Something to keep an eye on. That's 2 games in a row he was not so efficient, but then again, he probably had Lou Dort on him, so that's pretty tough. Jalen Clark had 6 of 7 from the field, 2 of 2 from behind the arc. Very good shooting night for Jalen Clark, 4 steals as well. So he really shined for the Minnesota Timberwolves there. I'm not really familiar much with Jalen Clark, but from what I understand, they just guaranteed his contract, got him off a 2-way and put him on the team. I'd imagine this performance had a lot to do with it. It says this guy went to the UCLA Bruins, so that's something to know as well. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, another good game against OKC. Of course, he is cousins of SGA. 6 of 12 from the field, 4 of 7 from behind the arc, 18 points there for him. Terrence Shannon did not get as many minutes here, 19 minutes, 3 of 7 from the field, 7 points, 2 assists, 1 rebound. And Rob Dilley did not get as many minutes in this one, 3 assists, no points accredited. So that's what it went. That's how it went for them against the OKC Thunder. And of course, we'll go through the other one. But they did get a break from the Thunder. They played the Rockets before that game, and they lost that one as well. This is a highlight series that I literally was falling asleep on the whole time, so I couldn't really tell you all that actually happened there, but the numbers will tell us a lot. Jaden McDaniels, once again, a nice scoring night for him, 7 of 15. 1 of 7 from behind the arc against the Rockets. Not so great there. 21 points, 1 block, 2 steals, 3 assists, and 6 boards. Naz Reid, 22 points, 3 blocks, 3 assists, 8 rebounds, and a steal. 9 of 16 shooting, 2 of 6 from behind the arc. He's really on a great stretch, and we know Naz Reid is a Laker killer. So keep that in mind. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, another efficient shooting night. 6 of 11 from the field, 4 of 5 from behind the arc for 16 points, 3 assists, 5 rebounds. Their role players are shooting well right now, LA. They really are. 37 points for Anthony Edwards, 1 block, 3 assists, and 4 rebounds on 13 of 32 shooting from the field, 4 of 14 from behind arc. Superstars are going to have nights like this where they attempt 32 shots. The offense is designed for it. If it were anybody else, I'd say 32 shots is too much. But for Ant-Man on the Minnesota Timberwolves, yes, he can shoot that many. Even if he's not necessarily having the most efficient night, they're going to be very, very happy with him doing that. Luka Garza got some minutes in this one, 11 minutes of play, 6 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist. Another poorly utilized player on this Minnesota Timberwolves team. They don't utilize who they have. I have been complaining about them all year. So I'm sure you guys don't want to hear this spiel, but I just think their coach is awful in regards to playing young players. Just like Philadelphia is in the Eastern Conference, Minnesota's terrible about playing their young players. They got so much talent on the back of this bench. Josh Minott looked like he was about to break out in the preseason, hasn't had any minutes all year long. Just a waste, man. Leonard Miller is fantastic, killing the G League when he's out there, never gets any playing time. This coach sucks. And I stand by that. So that's pretty much what I got to say about that particular game for the most part. Houston did get the victory. Do have to go over the stats. 35 points for Jalen Green, 2 steals. He really shot well. 12 of 24 from the field, 5 of 11 from behind the arc. Welcome back, Jabari Smith, 5 of 9 from the field, 4 of 6 from behind the arc for 15 points, 2 steals, 9 boards, 5 turnovers, but he's just coming back from injury. Terry Easton's also back from injury, 12 points, 1 steal, 1 assist, 2 blocks, 3 rebounds. Keep in mind that Houston is getting a lot of players back that have been out for a little while. They're still missing Fred VanVleet, but we're going to pay attention to them because, of course, we're trying to fight them off in the standings. I think they're right behind us. Amen Thompson, 17 points, 6 assists, 10 rebounds, 3 blocks. Another player that could potentially be most improved, worthy for sure. Amen Thompson, a fantastic two-way superstar in the making. I think he's going to be a superstar before it's over. 7 of 9 from the field there. Very efficient night for him. Dealing bricks, did not deal too many bricks. 3 of 5 from the field, 2 of 3 from behind the arc. 8 points, 2 assists, 1 steal, and 6 rebounds. And Alpi had 8 turnovers in this game. What's going on with Alper Sengun? 24 points, 13 rebounds, 8 of 21 shooting. Yeah, it's amazing how they were able to win that game with him turning the ball over like that. But that's how it went for them, man. They got the victory against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Jalen Green was very difficult to stop, man. 50% from the field did the Rockets shoot. 42 of 84, 50% from the 3. 13 of 26, so that'll do it. When the team's shooting that well, it's very difficult to beat them. Minnesota shot 44%, 41 of 92, and 28% from behind the arc, which won't cut it. 11 of 38. Now, when the team is shooting that well, no, you need to shoot better. Both teams went to the line a whole lot. 22 of 26 for 84% for the Minnesota Timberwolves. 24 of 32 for 75% for the Houston Rockets. Rockets won the boards 48 to 35. And the turnovers, Rockets had 20 turnovers, 26 points conceded off of turnovers. God, 20 turnovers and still won. And Minnesota only turned the ball over 9 times and only had 8 points conceded off of that. That must have been very frustrating for the Minnesota Timberwolves to have turned the ball over significantly less and still lose. But that's what happened to them. 23 fast break points to the 15 for the Rockets, so they beat them in the fast break. And 52 points in the paint to 50. Very close game there. The Rockets were the loser in that category. So, yeah, that's what we're looking at, man. A Houston Rockets team that just shot well. And if we're paying attention, the Minnesota Timberwolves had 2 straight games where a team shot over 50% on their backside. Actually, no, that's not how that went, is it? Yes, it is. Because we talked about the Minnesota Timberwolves going up against OKC in the next matchup. OKC went 55% from the 3, 54% from the 3, 55% from the field. And then, if you look at the game previous to that, the Houston Rockets shot 50% from both the field and the 3. So that's real tough when you run into 2 teams that can't miss. I mean, it doesn't happen too often, but that's exactly what happened to the Minnesota Timberwolves. Both of the Rockets and the Thunder went plumb loco. So they lost both of those games, and that's probably how it would go for a lot of teams. Very understandable. Before that, they played, of course, who else? The OKC Thunder. They got the win there, too. So to say they beat the OKC Thunder 2 out of 3 times in a matter of a week, that tells you how well Minnesota's playing. And the only games they lost was against teams that were shooting over 50% from both the 3 and the field. That's about as impressive as anything I've seen. We talk about an 8-game winning streak against bad teams for a team like the Nuggets. This, to me, signals something that people are not going to take very seriously as something that should be considered impressive for those who are paying very close attention. The Minnesota Timberwolves have to be shot down in order to be beaten. Otherwise, they're beating people at a very high level. The Denver Nuggets had played a bunch of garbage for 8 games straight. Of course, they were going to beat all those teams. That stat that we just described, is more impressive to me than the 8-game winning streak against teams like the Magic and Portland, teams that are struggling, New Orleans, stuff like that. The Denver stretch wasn't very good because the difficulty was on easy mode. Minnesota's been playing on superstar mode, and that's what I'm seeing here. So, as we go over this particular game against the Thunder, Chet Holmgren had 11 points, 2 blocks, 2 steals, 2 assists, and 12 boards. Hartenstein also had a double-double, 10 points, 2 blocks, 12 rebounds as well. Both of those players had 4 offensive rebounds. Shea had 24, 9 assists, and 8 rebounds on 6 of 21 shooting from the field. Only attempted 1 3, 1 or 2 from 2 threes actually, 1 or 2 from behind the arc, but got to the line 11 times, hit all his free throws. Lou Dort had 6 of 10 night from the field, 2 of 6 from behind the arc, 14 points, 3 rebounds, and Aaron Wiggins had 10 points off the bench on 4 of 8 shooting, 2 of 4 from behind the arc. Kendrick Williams had 4 of 9 from the field, 1 of 4 from behind the arc for 9 points, and they didn't really have too much more production off their bench than that, and I think that's why OKC lost. Only 101 points there, not so great. Meanwhile, the Timberwolves had 21 from Jaden McDaniels, 5 assists, 6 rebounds. You see something from Jaden? You seeing what I'm seeing? This boy keeps scoring. Naz Reid, 27 and 14, very impressive Naz Reid night, 4 offensive rebounds, 7 assists to go along with that, and a block with no turnovers. That is a Naz Reid masterclass there against OKC. A great defense. 11 of 18 shooting, 3 of 9 from behind the arc, but still masterclass in my opinion with those numbers. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, another efficient night. 4 of 9 from the 3, 5 of 11 from the field, 14 points, 2 assists, 6 rebounds. Anthony Edwards, 23 points, 3 steals, 7 assists, 7 boards, 5 of 18 shooting from the field, 3 of 12 from behind the arc. 11 attempted free throws, made 10 of them. Jalen Clark had a bad night, 1 of 6 from the field, 0 of 4 from behind the arc. Did have 2 steals with the 4 points given, 3 rebounds and an assist there. Tanner Shannon had a 13 and 6 game, 1 of 4 from behind the arc, 4 of 10 from the field. Rob Dilley had 3 of 7 from the field for 6 points, 5 assists, and 3 boards. And Luka Garza had an 8 and 8 game, 4 of 7 from the field in this one. So, yeah, OKC just did not shoot very well in this one. But of course, they came back and exploded in the following one. 7 of 29 from the 3 for that particular club, and Minnesota shot 12 of 46 from behind the arc for 26% to the 24% earlier stated. So, yeah, both teams shot poorly from behind the arc. This was a brick fest for both squads. Both teams shot 42%, 38 of 88 for OKC, 42 of 99 for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Minnesota won on the boards, 54 to 49. They've been killing everybody on the boards, if you notice. 20 offensive rebounds given up by the OKC Thunder. That is craziness. 12 offensive rebounds given up by Minnesota. Let's see. Yeah, that's craziness. 10 turnovers for both teams, 14 given up for the Timberwolves, 8 given up for the Thunder. 56 points in the paint for both teams, 17 fouls for both teams, 12 points to 10 fast break points. OKC with a victor there. And the largest lead of the game for the Minnesota Timberwolves was 19. So they controlled OKC in this particular matchup. They really, really controlled them. Shot better, rebound better, and just really, really got a lot of second chance points in this particular game. So, yeah, that is the total of the OKC Minnesota trio situation. And the game before that was a tough loss against the Milwaukee Bucks. 103-101 was the score. And Kyle Kuzma went for 19 points, 7 of 17 from the field, 0 of 3 from behind the arc. He had 13 boards to go along with that as well, and 4 assists for Kuz. Gary Trent played well off the bench, 21 points, 2 assists, 8 of 12 shooting from the field, 3 of 5 from behind the arc. AJ Green had 3 of 7 from behind the arc for 9 points. Taurean Prince had 11 points, 3 steals, 2 assists, and 4 boards here. And Brook Lopez had 11 points, 2 assists, and 7 rebounds. 1 or 2 from behind the arc, 3 of 5 from the field. And Andre Jackson had 4 or 6 from the field, 1 or 1 from behind the arc for 9 points, 1 assist, and 3 boards. Ryan Rollins, I believe his name is Ryan. Am I right about that? Yep. That young fella had a very, very bad shooting night. 2 of 12 from the field, 0 of 4 from behind the arc. For him, 4 points, a steal, and 3 assists. And then Bobby Portis 8 points, 4 assists, 6 rebounds on 4 of 10 shooting from the field. Also, Kevin Porter Jr., 4 of 9 from the field, 1 of 2 from behind the arc, for 11 points, 5 assists, and 1 steal, 8 boards. It's a big game for Kevin Porter off the bench. He really helped his team. And the Milwaukee Bucks beat the Minnesota Timberwolves. Had to be a bad shooting night for Anthony Edwards. Yep, that's what I predicted. That's exactly what it says. 10 of 33 from the field, 4 of 17 from behind the arc, 28 points, 2 steals, 4 assists, and 7 rebounds. That coach has got to discipline that superstar to be better at choosing shots and being more welcoming of giving the ball to other people. Anthony Edwards is plenty capable of averaging a triple-double if he were coached up to do so. You have too many players, Rob Dillingham, Shannon, McDaniels, Nas, Alexander. All these people could benefit from him moving the balls around more instead of just hoisting three-point shots to no end. This is a young superstar. Teach him how to be more of a connective piece more consistently. You'll get more out of him and more out of his teammates. God, I hate their coach so much. I really hate their coach. Anyway, Jaden McDaniels, 10 points, 3 blocks, 2 assists, 8 rebounds, 4 of 11 from the field, 2 of 4 from behind the arc. He only got better from there, as we know, but the 3 blocks is indicative of just how dangerous he is on the defensive end, and we know the scoring is on high alert right now. Y'all better be ready for that. Rudy Gobert, 20 points, 14 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 block, 1 steal, 6 offensive rebounds, 10 of 14 from the field. Very good game for Rudy Gobert. Very glad he won't be playing tonight. Naz Reid, 7 of 17 from the field, 1 of 7 from behind the arc, 22 points, 1 block, 2 assists, 13 boards. Boy, is he rebounding the ball well right now. Not shooting well in this game, but we know he also got that together as the game's progressed. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, 2 of 6 from the field, 1 of 5 from behind the arc, 5 points, 5 assists, 5 boards. He's starting to play better now, as we know. Joe Ingles, 1 of 4 from the 3 points, 4 assists, 4 rebounds. Terrence Shannon, 4 of 7 from the field, 1 of 3 from behind the arc, 11 points, 1 block, 1 steal, 6 assists, 5 rebounds. Big game for Terrence Shannon there, low-key, in 20 minutes of play. And Rob Dilly did not shoot well, 1 of 5 from the field, 0 of 2 from behind the arc for 2 points. So that is the conclusion of what I have to say about that game, I'd imagine. Did we go over the stats already? No. 10 of 44 from behind the arc for the Minnesota Timberwolves. That's why you lost to a Giannis-less, Dame-less Milwaukee Bucks team. You shooting 44 threes, only hit 10 of them. 37% from the field. 39 of 103. They won the rebounding total as they've been beating everybody on the boards, as we clearly stated. 57 to 49. I'd imagine the Lakers are going to have to rebound in a way that is above ourselves to beat them on the boards. I don't expect for us to beat them on the boards. I just don't. The way they rebound the ball right now, they're going to kill us on the glass, so we better be efficient with our possessions. 15 offensive rebounds did the Minnesota Timberwolves have in this game. With all these second chance points, all they did was kick it out to bricker threes. It's bricking all over the place. 14 turnovers, 15 points conceded off of that for the Timberwolves. 13 turnovers, 14 conceded off of that for the Bucks. 56 points in the paint to the Bucks, 34. So you trying to tell me you were killing the Bucks in the paint, but you shot 44 threes and lost? Anyway, that's just like you see you have an opening, you see you're being successful in this opening, but you can't help yourself to continue to shoot threes that are not working. I mean, that's just absolutely brainless. Absolutely brainless. The game plan in this Minnesota-Milwaukee game was absolutely brainless. And it's no wonder they lost to a team that didn't have their superstars because they played absolutely stupid. That's exactly what I see there. Very stupid basketball game. Of course, Minnesota has since gotten their act together and have been balling because OKC forces them and the Rockets forced them to play at a much higher difficulty. So now they're playing a game where I don't imagine that'd be stupid at all. Not at all. And look, the Lakers, we need to talk about ourselves against this Minnesota Timberwolves team because the last couple times we saw the Minnesota Timberwolves, we were not good at all. Not good at all. The Los Angeles Lakers, the first game of the year, we beat them 110-103. Nobody knew one another. Their coaches, they were lacking energy on their team. They refused to play their young players like Terrence Shannon and Rob Dillingham. We ran them out the gym with just a little more energy than Minnesota was choosing to muster up, which was a frustrating game for me looking at the opponents from their shoes. I was just like establishing I couldn't stand their coach then. Salute to Kobe Bennett. The next game, we got blown out by the Minnesota Timberwolves 109-80. couldn't score the ball. The next time we lost to the Minnesota Timberwolves, 97-87, couldn't score the ball. So this is what we need to understand. The Minnesota Timberwolves have done the best job against the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, granted, we have made some huge changes to our team since the last time we seen them. We're not the same squad. Ain't no D'Lo walking through that door, no AD. You know, we're not using some of these players that ultimately they were using. We got an entirely different squad, so I expect an entirely different outcome. But the point is, this season, we can barely score over 87 points against this squad on average. This is horrible. Absolutely horrible. So, JJ, I need us to be on high alert because Minnesota has been playing OKC a million times in a row, dropping 130-plus points on teams. It's not going to be nothing for them to meet us at the summit as it pertains to the difficulty level. It's not going to be nothing for them. So, I expect Minnesota to play great tonight. I expect for Naz Reid to shoot the ball well if he's available. I think he's a game-time decision. It is necessary to say that they picked up Bones Hyland. I don't know that they'll use him. I don't know that they need him, but from what it says, according to Shams, Austin Walton, the agent for Bones Hyland, says that he's going to be a Timberwolf, and he will be reunited with Tim Connolly, who drafted him in Denver, and they got the most out of Bones Hyland in Denver. So that's kind of what this is. I think Bones Hyland and Rob Dillingham are a bit of a redundancy, but if everybody has a clicking, boy, this Bones Hyland's raised their offensive ability pretty high. If he starts getting going the way he did back in Denver, they could have a 30-point Bones Hyland night before the end of the season. So I like that pickup for the most part. I just don't know if it's necessarily the fit, but they're increasing their overall offensive capability. And this is a team that's been dropping 131, 123, 115. You know, they've been scoring a lot. So 116. Since that Milwaukee debacle, they've really gotten their act together. And it takes 50% shooting from both the three and the field to beat them right now. That's exactly what the numbers are telling us. So, yeah, be aware of Bones Hyland. He is now with them. I'm not sure he'll be available tonight or not. But that's the word. So, yeah, that's what the numbers are telling us, man. This is the first of a back-to-back for your Los Angeles Lakers. We're going to be playing the Clippers tomorrow. And, of course, that game will be in Los Angeles, in our building specifically. And we're coming off a game against the Dallas Mavericks where we only scored 107 points. Our defense has been stellar. It's going to have to be tonight against the Minnesota Timberwolves. And mind you, as you can count, we've only won one of the three games that we played against the Minnesota Timberwolves. So that means we have to win tonight to tie the season series, or we could potentially find ourselves behind them if there's a tiebreaker situation. This is a very big playoff-like basketball game. No Julius Randle, no Rudy Gobert. Dante DiVincenzo is a game-time decision. Ant-Man is a game-time decision who will definitely be playing. Jesse Edwards, of whom I'm not familiar with, is not available for them. Game-time decision, Bron James, of course, he's playing. And Maxi Kleber is going to be out till the end of the season. So that's not even a real thing. So, yeah, man. Julius Randle and Rudy Gobert does not mean they're not going to rebound the ball better than us. In fact, they're going to make up for it. We know that because that's what every game has told us over the last 5 games. So they don't need Rudy or Julius to rebound the ball over pretty much anybody right now. And if they play Terrence Shannon the way they're supposed to, if they play Jaden McDaniels in the way that they have been, look out because that's a lot coming at you on both sides of the floor. Both sides. So I don't really love this matchup for us, man. We had a hard time more or less against the Dallas Mavericks, who are lining up a similar small ball-like lineup. Only Minnesota's small ball lineup is significantly better. Now, historically, based on what it is that my memory shows me, Anthony Edwards don't really shoot well against the Lakers. But as we've seen over the last 5 games, he ain't shot well against anybody, and they're still beating the hell out of people. And he's helping in other areas rebound the ball specifically. So, the boards is what we circled tonight. You must rebound the ball against the Minnesota Timberwolves. You must shoot efficiently against the Minnesota Timberwolves because that's the only way anybody's actually beating them is shooting efficiently against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Otherwise, they're stomping everybody out, and the everybody's they stomping are the best there is in the Western Conference, OKC Thunder. So that's what I'm here to tell y'all. They are very, very impressive. The numbers, if you dig deep enough as we just did, you will see exactly how impressive Minnesota's been playing since the worst game they've played probably against the Milwaukee Bucks at home where they just didn't show up to play. They didn't even have a game plan. They figured Giannis and Dame wasn't out there so they could just go up and just do whatever they wanted to do. And they got their butts whooped. They learned their lesson and then played great against the best the West has to offer. OKC, Houston, OKC, and they were 500 in that mix. I don't know if too many teams in the Western Conference that would go 500 with that stretch. I don't. So, with that being said, now they get to see us. That's what it is. That's what they're coming off of. And as we look back on 5 games of play for the opponent each day, we always have an understanding of what difficulty that the opponent has been playing under. And so that's why we look at, that's why we go back about 5 games, because we want to know what they're doing right now. We're not interested in hypotheticals. We don't build our game plan around hypotheticals. We build our game plan around recent data and tendencies. And so that's what we're looking at, man. Very excited about this matchup because I understand Minnesota is playing at a high level, and I understand that they're going to have us circled as a team that is a part of the hardest stretch of anybody. When you have to play OKC as much as they did, and then got to play the Lakers with Luka now newly acquired, this is one of the toughest stretches anybody's going to see on their schedule. And they're doing well, so they got to feel good about themselves, and they're fighting for playoff seeding as the both teams actually are. And you consider your Lakers are in 5th place now because Houston won their game yesterday. We are a half game behind the Houston Rockets, so this is a massive game for us to get our 4th place spot back and try to secure home court advantage somehow in this tough Western Conference. The Minnesota Timberwolves have found themselves in 7th place, 32-27, 4.5 games behind us. So that is where we're at. We are also 2 full games behind 3rd place and 2nd place, for which Memphis and Denver are tied. 38-20 is the record there. So, and the Clippers are behind us, whom of course we'll see tomorrow. 4 games behind us. We got a nice little comfortable lead, but we do have to continue to win basketball games to secure ourselves above 6th place or beyond. So that's really what it is, man. Your Los Angeles Lakers are going to be wearing yellow tonight. The Minnesota Timberwolves are going to be wearing their city jerseys, I believe those are. I think those are city jersey uniforms. I like that look for them, especially the floor to go along with it. But, of course, this game is here. But, yeah, that's what they're wearing. And the other injury report says the same thing as this one, I'd imagine. Yep. Nothing special there. Juju out, Rudy out, Jesse Edwards out. And, yep, Maxi Kleber out. Ron game time decision, of which we know he will play. So that's really what it is, man. 7:30 is the time this game starts. We're going to have our hands full, man. I'm telling you, Minnesota is playing great ball. We need to understand that. This is an important basketball game for a million reasons. We got to find a way to score against their defense. We got to find a way to slow down Jaden McDaniels, obviously Ant-Man, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Naz Reid. These guys are always playing well against us. To whatever degree we know we must defeat them. Hopefully their coach does a bunch of dumb stuff tonight, as he usually does, and we find ourselves a victory tonight. We need not be dumb ourselves, though. That's what it really comes down to. So attack them where you can, and go Lakers. BDL 44. I thank y'all for watching. Out.